Welcome back to Young at Heart. I'm your host, Lynn Peterson. I'm here with Danny Amster, who is a dynamic young fellow, young at heart. He owns the Dacom & Associates architecture firm in Las Vegas and was instrumental in the building of the dialysis center here in Pahrump. Welcome to our show, Danny. It's nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, we might as well get not out of the way, but tell us what's happening with the dialysis center and some new exciting things with other health providers coming in, I understand?
Hopefully.
Okay.
This was the first building that was built to help create a medical campus adjacent to the hospital. With the help of Dan and Hollis Harris, we created the dialysis center as the first building there. The hospital also has several doctor's offices in the building, and we have plans for several more buildings as soon as the demand is there.
Right, and these buildings will, as we're seeing the picture here on the screen, they'll be behind the existing building, or
correct. From the view that's on the screen now, yes, the other buildings are behind that.
Okay, and hopefully they'll be bringing in providers so that everyone here in the valley, they won't need to travel to Las Vegas as much for their needs.
Correct. That was the whole idea, is that we create a campus for people in Pahrump who have medical needs that they don't have to travel to Las Vegas to get their treatments.
So some of your other projects that you've worked on in Las Vegas, tell us a little bit about that.
We've built a lot of medical facilities, mostly medical facilities in Las Vegas. We've also built a lot of banks in Las Vegas. Most of the things we've done have been medical. Personally, I enjoy doing medical facilities. I've done, I think, 10 dialysis clinics. DaVita has been a great client over the last 11 years for us. And you know, we took our show on the road and we came to Pahrump and did it here for you guys.
So I could say you actually kind of know a little bit about what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's important. I understand, you know, when we were out here before, in the process of building a medical building is a lot different than an office building. There's so many more requirements and specifications that you have to go by, and can sometimes not create a challenge, but it is a challenge in the construction, or, you know, placing it.
It certainly is. For a dialysis clinic like this, the water needs and the electrical needs are tremendous compared to, for example, what a standard doctor's office would be. Luckily, there was a domestic water system available where the building was, because we can't use a well for these. We have to have a certain flow characteristics, a certain amount of gallons per minute that's available, and so on. So luckily, we had enough, and we could make it work here.
That's great. Now, as I said, Danny is a man of many hats, and one of your loves, what is your greatest love, other than your wife, of course?
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. I hear that you like to jump out of planes.
That's one of the things I've done, yes. It is a lot of fun.
Now, you don't jump out of the planes while you're flying them, right?
No.
No, okay.
That gets expensive.
That could get very expensive. It's like, you know, disposable airplanes, you know, like we used to have as little kids, you know, that we'd,
Little paper ones.
the paper one.
Actually, it started with my wife, who has kind of a fear of things like that. So for her birthday, I bought her a skydive.
Oh, wow.
And then she said, well, I'm not going to do it if you don't do it. And honestly, I had no desire to do it at all. But once the challenge was laid down in front of me, I did it, and it was absolutely wonderful. And when you're ready, we'll go together. I'll take you.
Yeah, he's been trying to convince me all morning that this is something I want to do. Now, actually, my son, who is, he's a daredevil plus, and he's just been waiting till the time that he's old enough to do it on his own, which he is now. And there again, he's like, come on, Mom, you can do it. He's the kind of kid that I used to go on all those roller coaster rides with, and the flipping and everything. And that's why my next guest I really need, because since then I've had chronic neck pain. But so do you do it on a regular basis now, the jumping out of the airplane, or is it the flying?
I've only done it once. I wouldn't hesitate to do it again.
Yeah.
It was absolutely wonderful. It's an exhilarating, fun experience. I think there were 8 jumpers in the plane with us, and when we landed, you all land in the same vicinity. It's about, I don't know, 100 by 100 yards something like that. Actually, it's no smaller than that. And when you landed in this pile of kind of gravel, and it was a very soft landing, and everybody was just sitting laughing and laughing and laughing. Honestly, it's awesome.
It's exhilarating. Well, I'll think about it, you know. It might be something. Now, but you've been flying planes a lot longer
I
than
have.
the one-time jump.
Yeah. I became fascinated with World War I airplanes when I was 12. And I always wanted to fly, but I never did. And then I had the good fortune to meet a fellow by the name of Mike Radomski, and his whole life is flying. And we had dinner, and you know, we talked about flying, and I said, well, he said, well, if you'd ever like to go fly, I said, sure, just give me a call. Well, the next morning at 8:30, the phone rang. I'm going flying, do you want to go? And I went, and I've since learned to fly, and I have a pilot's license for about 3 years now.
Okay.
And I have probably 350 hours flying.
Wow.
And I'm now working on my instrument rating, and Mike Radomski is my instructor. And it's wonderful. It's a great learning experience.
I was going to say, and you said you've only been doing it for 3 years, so there again, you're never too mature to learn something else to do in life that keeps you young and keeps you going, an interest that you love.
Absolutely. And in fact, there's a fellow by the name of Hank Niemeyer, who I think is 84, and he is a student pilot.
Wow, that's amazing.
So.
Yeah, I was telling Danny a story that a friend of mine up in Washington, she started jumping tandem with a professional attached to his back. Of course, a very young, nice gentleman, probably in his 30s or 20s. And for her 80th birthday, and she's been doing it every year for 4 years, absolutely loves it. She said it keeps her young, keeps her, you know, energized, and she just absolutely loves it. And I'm sure you probably feel that way about your business also.
I do. I love having my own business.
Yeah.
It's a very gratifying feeling. In fact, we built a dialysis clinic in northwest Las Vegas, and one of the people that we had done a lot of business with over the years was in failing health, and his daughter was a nephrologist in Colorado. And you know, he kept saying, oh, I don't feel well and this and that. Couldn't get in to see a doctor, and I referred him to Dr. Lerner, and I made a phone call for him, and Dr. Lerner saw him, and I didn't see him for a very long time, and I went into the clinic one day, and sure enough, he was in there getting his treatment, and he shook my hand, and he told me that he felt so wonderful and that he just loved Dr. Lerner. And so to see my my buildings and my clinics providing health care to people and really improving their quality of life is just an awesome feeling. That
has got to be an awesome feeling. What's coming up next? Anything exciting or more projects, or you just... Actually,
we've expanded our horizons a bit. There's a potential for some projects in California, some more dialysis clinics, and a radiology clinic in California as well. So hopefully, you know, my hard work can provide better quality of life for people everywhere.
And it sounds like you're not going to be stopping anytime soon. No, you're not ready to at all. No. So that's probably why the flying gives you that another outlet, or just it's an extension of.
Flying is wonderful. It's a chance to continue to learn every day. Every time you go up in the airplane, you learn something. Every day you read another article and learn another something. So it's just, I mean, learning is the most wonderful thing you can do. And flying is just nonstop learning.
And if someone else out there is interested in flying, where could they possibly get the information on your instructor? He's in Las Vegas?
Yes, he's actually not an instructor that's out there soliciting for people. He's a certified instructor, and he has a small group of people that we all learn together.
So if you are interested, at least make sure that they are a certified flying instructor.
Yeah,
would be really a good thing. I don't know. Pretty soon, Danny, you'll be doing that for everybody else. You'll say, I need one more thing on my hat, and that I could become an instructor. Anyway, you may have to take me up on that challenge sometime. I might just have to bite the bullet and think about jumping out of a plane. As long as I'm attached to someone else, I guess, then I can say that it wasn't under my own force that I got out of that plane. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
we
having
love
me.
having you. And
Thank
we'll
you
be
very
back.
much.